Talk about rolling out the welcome mat. My good buddy Victor called me up and asked me to stop by. Who knows what he's thinking? To what do I owe the honor of this presentation?
Bring back any memories?
It's one of those moments, you know, like when you approach the pearly gates, then your life passes before your eyes. You get to see all your past decisions, and all these cars are lined up. I'm wondering what's going on.
This is half a spectacle. I need a full spectacle. Let's go out of the box on this one.
I love that idea. You know, this style car, right? It's like, that's just my jam. You know, I love the sleds and the customs. They're super cool, but I like the freak show.
And I guess that's a word. I guess I say spectacle and you say freak show. Now we gotta combine those.
You know, my life just keeps getting weirder and weirder. You know, I never thought again that I would be tasked with creating the ultimate spectacle. He picked the right guy. That's what I'm talking about. The perfect starting point. Victor wanted weird. Welcome to the boat show. I gotta say, you know, my own guilty pleasure. This is a true bucket list potential accomplishment for me, and that's why I never got rid of this thing. I know what everybody's thinking. It's not gonna be a boat. It just happens to be an optimal fiberglass shape. It's very streamlined. I love the nose. I love the dashboard. Look at that steering wheel. Look at the gauges. This thing's awesome. This thing looks like a natural scooting around there in the desert. I'm feeling good about this project already. This is the first boat that's ever been in my workshop. This is one of those ideas that might need a little explaining. Even for the most envisionary of envisioners, this concept could be a potentially hard sell. It's out of a tailor-done utility cart, kind of like an industrial strength golf cart. Look how narrow it is. These things come with a Ford 9-inch that's narrowed. That's dragster stuff right there. I just set the tire in place there, but that's not what I want to see. See, with this narrowed rear axle, and all of a sudden, this fits in here. So the side of the boat looks like it's supposed to. So what I'm trying to do is not make this like a car that's wearing a boat. It's like the boat is actually designed to drive, like a speedboat, like a drag boat on a dry lake bed. I got this frame from Speedway. It's a T-bucket chassis. It's all set up for the rear springs. The front axle mount is there. I'm gonna have to modify it for sure, but this is a brand new unit. That'll be perfect. I'm all bristling with enthusiasm, but I may be getting ahead of myself. If I can't just show this stuff to Victor. Making some progress on this boat. Just cut out a whole bunch of stuff. I just kind of want to come up with a wheelbase measurement. These two big tires are gonna set in there, and man, it's gonna be tight. You know, I wanna sit ahead of the engine, and I want these big tires back here. Unfortunately, and fortunately for me, there's no blueprint for this kind of thing. It's all about envisioning and an old school mock-up to see how it's all gonna come together. This thing was so heavy because it was full of sand from some knucklehead dragging it around with a pickup truck. See how it's sitting right now? I want it to be like motorboat style. I want it to be low in the back and up in the front. When you get on the gas on a boat, it rises in the front, and that's what I want with this thing. All of my projects are focused on the look, but this one is really important because I've got to nail this concept to sell it to Victor, or all my hopes and dreams could fall flat. When I saw that dragster frame at Tom's, I was like, look at this. That's awesome for a rail dragster. But, you know, this boat weighs hundreds of pounds, so I needed something a little more substantial. I got all this stuff from Speedway that's brand new and set up for a car with a V8 engine in the front. It's a very similar arrangement, just this is much stronger, but I want to build the chassis to look reminiscent of that old rail dragster style. With the wheelbase of this boat and the look I'm going for, I'm gonna have to modify that T-bucket chassis substantially. So that's where the fun begins. I want it to look like that in the front, and I want it to behave like an engineered kit car from a catalog should. This is the part where it starts to get really loose. Metal turns to spaghetti. That one goes there. What was that number I told you to remember? It's only a natural evolution in my mock-ups. You know, I was starting with cardboard boxes, and masking tape, right? Now I'm taking brand new car chassis and hacking them up. So you may be thinking, wow, that's quite a fine mess you've created there, but I thought this through. So let's put it back together, shall we? One thing I know is a pile of cardboard boxes and some masking tape is not gonna sell this concept. I gotta go right into it. Look at that, it's a mini chassis. Create sort of a working model of it. I'm doing this for both the look and the function. Now that that's set up, these can go inside here. The end result is you have rear suspension. The next step is to set up the front end and figure out how to incorporate that dragster look. This critical measurement I've laid out both in marker and in chalk is a trade secret. I'll put a pin in the table right there, just like the golden spike on the transcontinental railroad. It's that important. In thinking about the front end design of this, the dragster look was appropriate. It's a boat, right? It doesn't have like a big heavy front end on it, so the spoke wheels and the lightness of that style chassis, I think it fits just right. It's like ring toss. Look at that, that's your spring perch right there. You didn't know where I was going. You were thinking mini chassis, what's going on here? The boat's that big, but the chassis is actually this long. For my next trick, I shall fuse some round tube for the front of this chassis. The design here is built for speed. So with this arrangement of tubes, it's really gonna give a sleek, low-profile design with a lot of strength. Exactly the look I was going for was that pile of trash I picked out of Tom's backyard, you know? Revisiting that slingshot vintage dragster look. Really long wheelbase, super light front end. That's what I'm looking at. How do you feel about it? In a world of top fuel dragsters, this stands alone. It's the most ridiculous concept ever put forth. She's listing, Captain. She's going hard to broadside. Now to port. Now to port, Captain. She's gonna go over. Every crazy concept comes down to one element absolutely working. Whose idea was this? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is that moment. She's heavy. She's heavy. No pressure. Just drop her down. Oh, brother. I'm into it now. I'm a troubleshooter by nature, so I'm looking at this, I'm like, it's got potential. It could work. It could work. I like the wheelbase, but always with the next challenge and the problems in the back of my mind. That darn engine is way too far forward. I tell you, there's nothing like the sound of that V8 engine ringing in your ear. I love the concept, and that's the thing. I want to sell Victor the concept, but I don't want to sell him something that I can't accomplish, so I'm looking at troubles. Position of the engine is a little bit, the fitment of the rear tires in the back of the boat, the overall stance of it. The first thing you have to think of when you look at it is, oh, that's cool. Not quite there. My friend out near Ventura, you know, out by the sea, he's like, we got V-drives, we got boats all over the place. So he shows me this thing. Seeing this unit, it makes perfect sense. So it's in and out. And he had these cool mounting plates too, cast aluminum. They go right on the side. All the pieces are here, right? The concept is sold, but I still got to do a ton of fabrication to see if it'll actually work. You know, this is all still just discussion. It's all lip service. Victor fell for it. The moment he opened his eyes, I knew he was in love. You saw those hearts, you know, like the cartoon. They popped open. Now all I gotta do is prove it. I'm gonna work my way from front to back to make this a rolling chassis, and the dragster steering is just about complete. This is pretty much Speedway's T-bucket kit front end. You know, I just adapted it. The tie rod on that dragster was all used up and messy, so I set it up for some brand new Heim joints. See, this is the look I was going for. I mean, it's a shame it's gonna be covered up with a boat body, because if you saw this coming down the road, you're like, wow, that is cool. This is a very traditional hot rod arrangement. You know, the drag link steering setup is what you would have on any T-bucket hot rod. It looks lightweight and cool. Perfect choice for this. It's got a body on it, but I still want to see all that raw fabrication, you know? You see all the action You see the engine actually spinning. There's no hood on it. One of my favorite things. All right, last things last is this cool steering column and the classic 3-prong steering wheel. You know, with my eyes closed, I'm picturing myself out on the lake. I mean, out on the drag strip or at the car show. Either way, it steers. So this looks solid. I want to get the rear end in pretty much the same arrangement, you know, proof of concept. I'm gonna have to set up this V-drive and figure out how it's gonna attach to the chassis. Seeing that in place just seals the deal. Now there's plenty of room for seating. You're away from that big hot engine, and you can see already, right into the V-drive from the trans, and that lower output shaft is basically pointing at the differential. The engine, transmission, and drive line are all mounted off of these 2 Heim joints. That's the magic of like the wheelie action. So this is all going to be one substructure. That the whole engine, trans, and drive line is all in one piece and it pivots together. The mounts on the V-drive are set up for a boat. They're a little wide, so I'm gonna cut those down, then create some steel plates that I can weld to the truss structure I already have in place. The whole concept here is engine, transmission, rear axle, and now V-drive are all of the same assembly. So this truss structure that I'm building keeps everything, you know, all the spinning mechanical parts in line and strong. Now, of course, it's gonna have a lot of other structure in there, but with any luck, the V-drive is still standing. Still a lot to go, but this concept I could see. You know, I like this design here, right? It comes out, it goes down. Plenty of room for the transmission cross member in here. And there'll be gussets, you know, whatever I do. Structurally, it's looking like a race thing. Once we get the visual aspect on there, it's gonna look like a clown thing. Well, let's push this thing out and see how it lines up. Even though the boat body's been on there before, it's critical that it sits properly. Otherwise, the whole presentation will be off. My master plan will be foiled. Hey, look who it is. Fair weather friend. You're just in time for the boat. Check it out. Yeah, my plan with this whole setup was see how I cut the hull. It's gonna sit right on the front spring perch. Pretty much like that. So that's level, right? But I was thinking I want it more aggressive, like a speedboat. So I'm gonna go lower in the back. That really sets the look. It looks like it's on plane, right? It's taking off. Really showing off the engine. You know, the tires are up above, and then these big exhaust pipes just coming out. I'm gonna put these rear mounts in and roll it out from this lift and take a look at it. I don't know, I guess there are crazier concepts, but I can't think of one. Even for me, this is pretty far out. Now she's got a little interest in her eyes. Oh look, all the cows are coming home. Hey, it's hot out in that desert, isn't it? This is what it all adds up to, you know? First impressions. I'm looking at this thing like it's the first time. It looks fast. That's what I was going for. It's definitely weird. Stance, when you look at it, it's gotta have some kind of attitude. For me, a lot of times it's like nose down, right? For whatever reason, that looks a little more aggressive. Not this one. A boat does the exact opposite. It looks like it's ready to hop in the lake and go cruising. It's gonna make a real statement at the local boat ramp. When I see someone that, you know, follows their bliss, goes the extra mile to create something really unique, I say, yeah, that only validates my own insanity. If somebody had a crazy idea, I'd say, you're crazy. That's a crazy idea. Let's get started. Never know how close to failure you are until you accidentally succeed and it looks like you meant it. I know I want the seat to be the full width of the boat so that I have as much room as possible. Yeah, see, once the upholstery's on, I'll just give it a nice little tuck. I'm gonna start with the base and then attach the backrest. Ooh, it's like getting in a boat. So you're talking about brakes, right? All right, let's put some back tubing in. Victor's really been going the extra mile in the last few projects with the upholstery, so what I'm doing is just setting up a good groundwork for him to do his magic. So I'm just gonna slice through these tubes so I can take the seat out, then I'll be able to finish it on the bench where it's flat. Whose crazy idea was this? Build a seat that you can't take out of the vehicle. First, I was thinking that the whole corner of the seat would wrap around like this far, but I realized you don't need that much seat. So I'm gonna take the tube, bend it, attach here, and then just curve right into that. I had 3 S's. I gotta say, the sitting's looking the best out of the 3. I'm giving Victor the whole project in this rough, unfinished form, and it's up to him. Like, what kind of upholstery, what kind of paint? Who knows? Maybe he's got enhancements. It's a pretty wild concept. I'm super interested to see what he's thinking. A few loose ends to wrap up in this project, and it's ready for the master enhancer. Ready or not, here we come. In an effort to continue my salesmanship, I need to set this car up to really make an impression on Victor. I think he needs to see it in motion. Ahoy! Nice day for a cruise. It doesn't move on its own, but it does stop and steer, and that's all I need for this presentation. Welcome to the cartoon world, sir. That's about as spectacle-y as I could make it. Everything's in place, the mounts are there, the body's this floating, springy design.
You have motion in the ocean.
It's like you're on a boat. It's basically a fully functioning rolling chassis ready to drop in a running engine and transmission.
I said crazy spectacle, and I got what I asked for. I should watch my mouth next time. The fab is done. This is a piece of art now. Now I'm afraid to cover anything up. The thing already says I'm crazy, I'm nuts, look at me. I don't want to have them put me in an asylum right off the bat. I could just literally do the interior and paint it, and it's done. But then I haven't done my part, and it's not fair to you.
That's right. It's not fair to me unless you get all the details filled in. Like all the rest of our projects, I'm sure this will be a back and forth process, but I think I'm going to hightail it out of here before Victor starts getting a little too deep. We all know how this could go. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your vision is for it, right? And then ultimately, the test drive. No holds barred. Do what you do. Victor's process is typically not fast and usually requires a lot of revisions. So after I left, I was surprised to get an SOS from him the very next day. Jumping Jehoshaphat.
I had visions, I couldn't sleep.
Well, I gotta say, that escalated quickly. Victor looks a little frantic. I see inspiration in his eyes. He's a man in motion. He's got a good concept. I work the same way, so I'm just like being supportive. You know, I see what his potential is here. It's just developing. I was pretty surprised to come back the next day. I mean, seriously, 16 hours later, and he's got these 2 fins and taillights mocked up on this thing, as well as some kind of weird headgear arrangement. I mean, look at this.
That's you, man. That enhances your forehead.
All jokes aside, this project's on a new path, and I'm up for the ride. It's been a few days, so let's see what kind of nonsense Victor's got going on in his shop. Wow, this looks cool.
I disassembled it all. I wanted to powder coat the whole frame, and that way you could really see the fabrication you put in. And some minor modification to the body. A little bit of wing action here.
I gotta say, this man's a hustler. All that fiberglass work looks awesome. Rebuilt the engine, the transmission, powder coated the chassis. I mean, what's not to like about this setup? These wings are next level. Just seeing it in foam was one thing, but now it looks like he took a surfboard and cut it in half and stuck some taillights in it. I'm feeling it, man. I love this.
Yeah, that's an instrument panel to a 1959 Ford Edsel. The speedometer goes sideways.
Like this boat's gonna go when you get on the throttle.
We don't know if it's gonna go up, down, float, or sink, but at least we got a cool instrument panel.
In addition to all the other progress, there's this newest element of this swooping front shape across the dashboard area of the boat. It's super unique. That's such a weird element. I would have never come up with that, but I see it now. It's like if it was to splash water, the water would just go right around the driver and the passenger.
Well, it's like, what do you do? I think you're nuts and I'm a little nuts too. Not as bad as you, but
hey,
I'm getting there. As we keep working together, we gotta be careful.
This thing is looking crazy cool.
That's it. It's minor, just 1, 2 things. That's it.
Perfect. It's just what it needed.
And that's why I brought you down here to number 1. Give me approval on what you see. I need you to help me put the motor back in the dragster and put the dragster underneath the boat. I don't know, that doesn't sound right,
Yeah, no, I came up with that concept. I'm familiar with the whole procedure, Captain. Probably not gonna be as simple as I explained to Victor. You know, like everything else that's full custom, there's gonna have to be some workarounds.
Hey, Ian, I feel like I'm on the drag racing pit crew.
Back it up.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades here.
Victor's like the conductor at the orchestra. You know, that's who he is. He's not the guy turning wrenches and spraying stuff, but he is in charge of a large number of resources, and he conducts his orchestra pretty well.
Ian, so did you have to bend that oil pan or what?
No, this thing was dropped in the backyard, remember? It made its own clearance, so I just figured, hey, I'll use it.
So in other words, if I change that to a chrome one, I got to adjust it somehow.
You gotta throw it on the ground a few dozen times, yeah. I gotta say, I forgot to mention to Victor, hey, by the way, don't take the body off the boat. I didn't design it that way. I literally hung the boat in position and just welded in a whole bunch of brackets. I can't believe they got it off of the chassis in one piece. So what's your plan?
I don't know, that's why you're here.
I think it's going to be a problem getting it back on. When I put this on, I put a piece of tube through the front anchor bracket, like drop the front in and then kind of twist and I was able to just kind of move it. Yeah, at least I didn't say, Victor, I have no idea how your drag boat goes back together. I vaguely said some things and offered support like a true gentleman. Like I said, I did not expect this to come back together.
I don't know how they got it out either. I was going, man, down.
Come forward?
Yeah.
Right there?
No, this side.
Yeah, we gotta do the opposite. Did you have the tires off or something? If building a drag boat spectacle was easy, then everybody'd be doing it. Or would they?
Well, how did you do it? Up,
Right there, yeah, you got
up.
it. What did you do? There's a lot of shaking and bobbing and squirming and worming to get this thing back in place, isn't it, fellas?
On three. 1, 2, 3. All right. But we have to lock it
gotta
in the
latch
front
this.
first. Pull that from underneath. Yeah, pull that. Okay, there you go.
got it.
Now put it down.
Hold
Oh,
it,
wait.
come forward again.
Come forward again. Okay.
Backwards. The thing is, everybody thinks it's my fault, right? It's like, oh, what knucklehead built it this way? You can't even put it back together. Lift up and back.
Okay, lift up in the back.
You were not supposed to take the boat apart.
Take it down.
Okay, drop
All right,
it.
drop it down.
Ever.
All right, pull it down. All right, you got it. Who said you couldn't do that? Just don't do it again. All right, are you guys ready? I'm ready.
Hell yes.
I got my captain hat on.
Amongst the struggle, it's great to see Victor keeping the spirit alive.
Good job.
That's what it's all about. Rally the troops, keep the morale high, stay the course. I'm telling you, this is the proverbial icing on the cake. It's all happening right in front of us. Stance, awesome. The fins, I wasn't expecting. The intake, looking good. It's really under development now.
Things you come up with, I don't know about you.
Holy wingdings.
Now you know how I felt when you brought it to me.
Oh, yes. This is perfect, man. Victor never ceases to amaze nor disappoint. The bodywork is on point. It looks like it's one fabricated piece. It's awesome. This is something I was a little bit hesitant about, but like you say, it's always got to have that kind of voluptuous curve in some place, right? The fins really help with this exhaust. You know, this thing was so low in the back, it was all this stuff jumping out of the rear of it. The fins make it all come together.
That softens it up.
I really like the way Victor handled the back end of this boat. It was a big cut open gaping hole, and he took the piece that I cut out, modified that, and made the same detail, but now there's plenty of room for the engine and radiator. If you didn't see this boat before, you would think that you found some kind of exotic speedboat from the 60s or 50s.
It's definitely out there. I mean,
Yeah.
you were out to lunch on this one.
I'm gonna get my cape. I'm gonna get some special high-heeled sneakers and sunglasses. It's gonna be nice.
My only goal is I don't want it to be the Bat boat. You know, right off the bat, oh, Batmobile wings. It ain't the Batmobile. It's an Ian spectacle. Now we gotta paint this thing, Ian, but we have to paint it to complement the boat without it looking like, you know, I need a cape to drive it.
That's one thing I think I excel at in regards to Victor's response to what people will think of his projects. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, take it for what it is. And he's like, no, it's not that.
Because it isn't the bat boat.
Right.
You didn't build a bat boat.
Right. No, if it was black, forget it. I don't know why he's so sensitive about the bat boat comparison. I mean, I already have my cape on order.
Batmobile, I don't even want to hear that word again.
You want to take big, bold steps, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences, Batman.
And I got my buddy Bob Kozlik coming down, and he's one of the last guys out there that does this kind of pinstriping.
Heck yeah. Bob did really strong work on that Zephyr cruise liner where, you know, he pinstriped it to look like an old wooden boat, like a Chris Craft speedboat, and that was classy. So I'm sure he'll bring the same amount of detail to this project. Before Bob gets here, Victor and I are gonna hash out a few paint ideas. Man, like, where's he going with this? Is he gonna like make it all crazy lowrider? Is it gonna be like the flow of the ocean, or like what's he even thinking? It seems pretty fresh. I like his ideas. Well, it complements the actual embossing in the side of it too.
And
Same
that's
vibe,
true, I
right?
didn't even think of that. I got 4 colors, but we're only gonna use 3. I see the whole side orange and the wings orange. And then the purple goes in between there. And then whatever else we add.
Yeah, just tell Bob that exactly. Just majority of it's orange and then put some purple on it, little silver, no green. It's just a little sprinkle of pepper and a little spice. Everything's nice.
That's it.
That's perfect directions.
What the heck you got involved in here?
He did it. I didn't do nothing. Ian did it all.
Just as things are starting to get real loose, here comes Bob.
This is very cool.
He swoops in like the masked man in the nick of time.
Kind of feels like the Batmobile.
Uh-oh, who said the B word?
Good, I'm glad you said that, because I want to get it out of your system. I don't want it to look like the Batmobile. That's why I brought you here, to take that Batmobile look away. The paint scheme can't look like the Batmobile.
One rule in this shop, no bat time, no bat channel.
It has wings like the Batmobile. That's all it has in common. And Batman.
Well, let's lay out some lines, see what comes forth. Do you actually call this a boat?
We don't know what to call it. We're hoping you would help us out with that. Whenever I'm working with like an old school pro, I'm just kind of quiet because I'm looking at the technique, I'm looking at the ideas, that type of thing. As a one-man shop, I'm always trying to, you know, figure out my resources, and this guy's an encyclopedia of paint design.
What do you think? Are we heading in the right direction?
I think so.
There's a certain feel with this kind of stuff. You just have to be a little more open-minded.
Yeah, no, open-minded is how we arrive at all these weird results.
Ian told me never follow the rules.
We'll be right back. Same bat time, same bat channel. As the song goes, I've been through the desert on a boat with no name, and this fits the bill perfectly.
You brought me crazy, I give you crazy back, man.
What the heck have you done? This is out of control. I love it.
I had to bring you out in the desert where the aliens hang out, because this just ain't right. Something's going on here. Our minds are drifting.
Walking up on this thing, it's a complete freak show. It's everything I could have imagined and more. Victor took it over the top. I mean, my concept was something, and he just went super double, triple extra on it. I don't know what to say. It's kind of next level.
Subtle crazy.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It kind of sounds like it looks.
Last time I saw it was a work in progress, and man, getting it all detailed out, get the chrome on it, the fins are all dialed in with the taillights and the paint. This thing is wild. In the sun at this angle, that foil is like, it's like neon. Look at that. It's just popping right off the surface. And the colors, it's like, it works.
Who would have thought orange and purple and green go together? And I don't even know if they do, but hey, I had my painter Hector. We just kept playing with it, and you know me, we painted this thing 3 times, man.
Victor really is, he's a designer, right? I always say it, he's a designer at heart, and that's the thing. Like, he didn't really need no spectacle for his nursery. Come on. He did take it to the nursery and put it around, he said, and he's gonna park it there. Of course, it's a spectacle, but this has nothing to do with his marketing savvy. He's just looking to build this crazy thing, right? I know that guy. I love the interior too, man.
I just took all your extra hats and made the upholstery.
Super, super deluxe.
People are gonna love it and people are gonna hate it. So, hey, it is what it is, huh?
Oh yeah, I don't hate it at all. I mean, having it all there with all the shiny and all the fins and the paint, it's too much. It's definitely not the bat boat. I mean, the B word. It's definitely is its own thing.
Well, you ready to take it for a test drive? I told you, you're driving it for the first time.
You don't gotta ask me twice.
Co-pilot ready for takeoff.
We don't need hats where we're going. Yeehaw! I think Victor was really digging it. You know, it's always a thing when you're building something, you never really have the time to step back. So I think this was good for him because he was like entrenched, right? They were doing all the stuff to finish it. So for him to get in the passenger seat and just cruise it, I think he felt really good about it.
Hey,
Let's put that over there. Oh, it's nice. Nice ride.
I think we need a steering wheel.
Oh. This is exactly like being on a boat on the water, except you're out on the concrete. It's the same feeling. Open air, you're just cruising along. Power's there. You know, the drive line through the V-drive, it handles it well. It's a mover. It's a lot like being out on the lake, man.
Feel the breeze,
Awesome.
the water hit your face.
Love it. It doesn't fit into a class of vehicle at all. So, you know, Victor's saying a spectacle, I'm saying cartoon car, just not like anything. There's only one of them in the world. That's the cool thing about it. Call it a success, man.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, hey, first trial run with the wind hitting your hair. Just one question, what do I say it is?
I don't know.
It's not a boat, it's not a car.
You know, you got to watch out what you ask for from now on. You left the slate wide open on this one, and look what happened. You need to be more specific next time.
You're demented or something.